Okay.
Can't wait na makabalik na si Coach Jong sa panel naman.
Oo naman.
Masarap pagka si Coach Jong eh. Pero isa pang masarap pakinggan for the last 2 months, eto si Miss Denise.
Hanep.
Miss Denise, ang dami nung mga storyang nadala mo sa buong Pilipinas, from right inside that bubble, from the AUF arena pagka nandoon na kayo naglalaro. Pero this time around in the finals, inassign na kayo, pinagtagisahan nyo. Selena is with TNT, you are with Barangay Nebra. You were talking already kanina about how yung Hinebra sa nakukuha mo, hindi pa sila ganun kakumpiyansa kahit 2-0 to. How are they, what is their focus now?
Well, again, they're still looking at it as a race to 4, diba? I mean, any athlete, any coach, any team would tell you, even if you get 3-0 kahit makahinga ka, job isn't done because you have to get, it's a best of 7 series, right? So, one thing that we actually talked about, actually kakwentuhan ko nga sila Coach Olsen, sila Coach Chard kanina, and they were already talking about, let's say, even if you get a 3-0, yes, you have a very high chance of winning the series. But then again, you look back 2015, 2016, miracle. Diba? So that's one thing that they want to instill. It doesn't matter if you're 2-0. It doesn't matter if they do a good job tomorrow and get 3-0, job isn't over. So you can't really relax. You can't really think of anything else. And you just have to focus on completing the whole thing.
May comment dito, Denise, sabi ni Christian Manlapas, magaling mag-free throw si Denise, naturuan ni Coach Chard.
Nakikinig ka kay Chard?
Oy! Nakita mo ba? 2 of 2 ako doon. Can't argue with 100%, Magu.
But Denise, no, wala ako doon sa shoot. Pero tanong ko lang, nung sinushoot nyo yun, gaano karaming takes para pumasok yung tira ni Coach Chard?
Basta. Coach Chard! Oy, nanonood daw si Coach Chard!
Sige, nanonood pa. Ay, Coach Chard.
Coach Chard, meron ako matagal lang gusto sabihin sa'yo. Miss you. Pero sa dami ng games na nahawakan mo dyan sa loob, Denise, sa tagal mo na nga dyan, magto 2 months, has it been tough for you? Has it been, I talk to Carlo on a regular basis kasi sa'yo, minsan-minsan lang tayo magkwentuhan. Kamusta yung stay mo dyan sa bubble so far?
Honestly, at first, it was really challenging. Tiring, to say the least, just because, everything was new, diba? Birth pains, sinasabi nga nila. You didn't know how to contact the players. We were so used to just going up to the players back when we were playing in Araneta, Cuneta, Moa, wherever we were. But this time kasi just getting all of their numbers, that alone was a challenge in itself diba? And then you have to work with their schedule. Siyempre, they have gym time, they have practice, they have nap times, and you have to give it to those players. Even if you know they're available at 12, if they want to rest, you have to let them rest. Hindi mo pwedeng kulitin, diba? So that was the first challenge for Selena and myself.
Ano pa pala, no? Kahit na magkakasama kayo dyan, may social distancing pa rin
Yes.
So, sabi mo nga sa Araneta, madaling 2 hours before the game, madaling tanungin diba?
And it's not like you can easily come up to them as well when you go to the gym because, again, you have to respect the boundaries of them not really having their usual warm-up, set-up, diba? Or kasi parang, diba, maglalambing ka lang ng konti. Parang, uy, 2 minutes lang. They really do that anymore because they have their routine that they have to follow, respect that. So that was challenging, I would say, the first week. But then, thankfully, nakapag-adjust naman kami kagad. And here we are, 7-8 weeks later.
Craziest story you've gotten so far. Lalo na kung hindi mo pwedeng i-ere, dito mo na lang ikwento. Yung mga hindi mo na-ere.
Shucks. Magu, it's really hard to Ito I'm really gonna tell you, it's hard to pick and it's hard to remember. Sa dami.
No?
At like kahit kanina, I was talking to one of our producers. I was like, anong araw ngayon? Friday? Wednesday? Like, hindi mo na alam Kasi wala ka ng definition kung ano yung weekend, ano yung weekday. Like, hindi ka lang magbukas ng bintana, hindi mo na alam. The whole day has passed na. So, yeah, but I would say there are a lot of very, very interesting, heartwarming stories. And pag napakinggan mo sila, especially firsthand, there are a lot of things that we, of course, cannot share with the public. You'd appreciate more the sacrifices of these people, not just the players, but everybody involved in making this bubble, pati na yung staff ng hotel, staff at the gym, everybody sanitizing, the drivers, all of them, they have their own kwentos. And, I mean, one day, uupuan natin yan. Baka mag-guest pa ako dito ulit.
Baka lang.
Siyempre, matik.
Ako may question ako. Kasi di ba at the start, magkadikit yung rooms natin. Sino yung malakas maghilik? Ikaw or si Selena?
Kabilang magkatabi ba tayo? There's no such thing, Carlo.
Baka roommate ko yun.
Si Selena yun. Wala siya dito, di ba? Wala siya dito, lalaglag ko siya.
The first 5 weeks, just like Carlo, meron siyang roommate doon. Ka-roommate mo rin si Selena noon. Pero ngayon may sarili ka na rin room. Kasi
naghiwalay na kami.
Yan, nung nangyari po, nung pinauwi na yung mga ibang teams, nagkaroon ng extra rooms. Nagkaroon na rin ng extra room to mga to. Was it a relief? You're a grown person. You had to share a room for 5 weeks with somebody na hindi mo kamag-anak. Nakakapanibago yan, di ba?
Well, yes, oo na hindi. Just because, I played in college and so I was so used to like having all of these trips for different leagues and syempre naka-house kayo sa isang spot. So I was kind of used to it, but of course that was like years ago. I wouldn't say na. Sige na nga 10 years ago. So
hindi na nga namin pinush eh.
Okay na, alam naman nila. So that was like mga 10 years ago. So it was something new. But I would tell you, I think the biggest concern that Selena and I had the first time we were here was the closet space. Syempre, we were working every day for like 5 weeks, di ba? So kailangan sobrang dami mong baon ngayon. Di ba? May baon ako sarili kong rack. Would you believe?
Napagkasya nyo pa,
Oo. But really, the first day, I rearranged the beds para may space kami in between para hindi naman kami masyadong like magkadikit. And then, basta, we made it work.
Ako may paboritong kwento sa kanilang dalawa ni Selena. Syempre roommate sila, 'di ba? So yung preset ng aircon dito sa Quest, malamig kasi parang gusto talaga nila, komportable yung mga tao. So in the first few weeks of the bubble, sobrang lamig ng room nila Denise tsaka Selena. Hindi sila nag-uusap kasi nagtatansyahan sila kung sino yung mahilig sa lamig. Apparently, nung nagkaalaman, lahat pareho pala silang ayaw yung malamig.
Gabi-gabi kaming lamig na lamig. Hindi kami nag-uusap.
Pero ayaw nilang magtanong sa isa't isa kung ano yung gusto nilang tamang thermostat ng aircon.
At one point, tinanong ko na si Selena kasi she was hiding under the sheets. Tapos, ganun. And I was like, girl, nilalamig ka ba? Sabi niya, I've been freezing to death kanina pa. And I'm like, I was freezing to death kanina pa. At hindi tayo nag-uusap.
Ayun. Nalaman lang nila medyo late na sa bubble.
Nag-tease kami for weeks.
Pero ngayon nga, at least may kanya-kanyang rooms na and everything. Nami-miss nyo naman ba isa't isa?
Oo, we were actually talking about it.
Alam ko si Carlo, miss na miss si Ronnie.
Injured yun ngayon. Injured yun, natapilok ata kahapon.
Ano ba naman yan? Pati si Guaps tuwan-tuwa.
Lakad
yung ginagawa
siya kanina, umika-ika eh.
Yung mga ginagawa niyang video doon sa open court dyan sa baba, natapilok pa doon.
Ewan ko doon. Nagulat na lang ako kahapon, umiika-ika na. Sabi na, atleta ha.
Dapat pina-MRI din natin kasama ni Ray Parks para na-check talaga.
Ron nga naman yun, di ba?
Denise and Magu, total, I mean, we're here anyway. Let's talk about it. The challenges of not being in the same venue, anchor and courtside reporter. Gaano kahirap just to get the rhythm of it, to get the timing of it. May mga adjustments ba from both of you?
Right now, kung di nyo napapansin, sila Miss Denise, sila Selena, they'll always report coming off a timeout.
Yeah.
Kasi ang hirap mag-queuing eh. We tried it once, I think, Denise, and then nagkasabit-sabit queuing natin. So hindi na namin inulit. So basta sila, after a timeout, dun makakuha na report. Kasi like, a lot of the courtside reporters, like si Denise, we have this good working relationship. May flow na kami na minsan pag nasa same venue sa Araneta. Si Miss Denise, pag kami sinasabi na ako, lumilingon na kagad sa kanya, lalo pag may na-injure, pag may ganito, ganon. Alam na niya, pag tumingin din ako sa kanya, nakatingin na rin siya. Uunahan pa ako niyan, lumalakad na siya, kukunin niya yung report na yan, or gaganonin ka na. Ibig sabihin, meron na siya nun. Pasa mo lang. Just give me the ball. Gaganon lang si Denise eh. Para pag pukul ko sa kanya, sakto na yon. Now, wala yung dynamic na yun. We just have to take what they're reporting and we just have to react to it. Di ba, Denise?
Yeah, and I think, like ako personally, medyo ano nga ako eh, I'm napapaisip ako lagi, should I text the panel? Text ko na lang ba? Because I want to give that report right away because I know, especially when it comes to injuries, people are wondering and you guys would want to talk about it. So yun lagi yung struggle ko. Like, kunyari, 7 minutes. 7 minutes, hintayin ko ba yung 6 minutes? O bato ko na lang. Pero small things like that. And again, you know, it's the first time we did this whole concept. So talagang madaming adjustments.
Yun nga, no? Kasi nga, in the same breath then, I actually like having conversations with my courtside reporters. Hindi lang analysts. We always do that, di ba, Denise, na pinapaiwang on yung mic, kahit sila Carla, we always do that na para mas maganda yung kwento, mas bumbo. We lost that too right now.
Yeah. Oo nga, you lost that.
Na-lost din kami.
Ayag lang si Denise. Anyway, Denise, it's been, you know, a sprint in terms of just completing the games, no. I'm sure na kayo na Selena with all of your hard work actually got to know more about the players dahil parang sabi mo nga, you respect everything, you respect the time, yung oras na schedule nila. Pero ramdam mo rin na yung players, parang naghahanap din ng makakausap talaga eh, di ba? They'd want to talk to someone just to, you know, help them pass the time, parang ganon. And then they would end up telling you more stories about their personal lives, giving you parang an access to a side of them na hindi natin normally nakikita.
Actually, ever since I started, you know, I always thought that I had this certain rapport with the players because I played eh. So at some level, I could connect to them na if they talk about something during practice or what they experienced back in the day or whatnot. At a certain level, I know what you're talking about. So may connection kagad eh. But going back to what you were saying, totoo eh. Sometimes I would call somebody and have this particular question that I would want to ask him. Tapos magugulat ka na lang, sobrang dami ng kwento, 10 minutes, 15 minutes na kayo magkausap. One good example that I had, naalala ko lang bigla, I was talking to Coach Pido. Coach Pido I've known since I was 16 because he coached UST. And then I wanted to ask him one question, but because we've known each other for a very long time, I was like talking to him for 40 minutes. Yung mga tipong, parang, okay, Coach, sige pa, Coach. Yung report ko parang mga panlimang game na eh. But yeah, you know, it's those kinds of things na matutuwa ka din talaga these guys are going through and you know how crazy the schedule is, all the more for them. Tapos bibigyan ka ng gantong klaseng oras, di ba?
Wala pa namang naghumihinga sa'yo ng problema sa pamilya, problema sa bahay sa Manila. Wala pa naman ganon? Or meron na?
Syempre, ano na yon, hindi na nadidiscuss yon. Kumbaga, yung conversation namin na ganon is just because, you know, I've become friends with these players who I've covered also like the past 3 years. So may certain level na rin of how would you say this? Secrecy, kumbaga, parang gano'n. Or hindi, confidence.
Yeah.
In one another. Na talagang parang kwentuhan lang.
Yun yung atin lang. Yun
off the record.
Yan.
Syempre kasi pag nagtanong ka ng off the record, di mapapakwento sila ngayon. Di pwede ka na ulit magtanong ng pang on the record.
On the record. Total na ano na eh.
Pampagana lang.
May puhunan na eh.
May,
Nakapagkwento na eh.
may nagtatanong dito, Carlo, si Marlon Redondo, yung dugout interviews po ba meron pa rin after ng championship? I think wala because, di ba, social
I
distancing.
think
I don't know.
it will be different for sure.
Yung on the court, meron yan. Pero yung sa dugout, yung basaan, baka, I'm not sure.
I
May
vote
sinabi na
Carlo.
ba sa inyo?
Ako?
Basta kung meron si Carlo. Yun na lang yun. Iboto po
Tama-tama.
natin, Carlo, pamintuan.
Tama-tama, Game 7, birthday pa naman niya, magbubuhusan siya.
Mismo. Grasya yun, Carlo. Pumayag ka.
Ang sagot niyo yung dry cleaning ng suit ko game.
Ay, maliit na bagay sa magcha-champion.
Denise, madalas na pag-uusapan, no? Kahit si Commissioner Willie Marshall na pag nabibring up yung April, we don't know what the world will look like come April. We really don't know. But if there comes an opportunity for you to be involved in something like this again, knowing what you know now, would you still go to another bubble?
Absolutely. Number one, given the situation we're in, having work is such a huge blessing. And, I've always talked about this. It's one thing having a job, and it's one thing being able to do what you love doing. And again, given the situations, the blessing is so much more magnified. Diba? And like what I mentioned, I used to play, I grew up around sports, I grew up watching sports. So being able to be part of giving that sense of normalcy to others, iba eh. Kasi ako naramdaman ko yun eh. Naramdaman ko yun na, after class or after training, I'd watch a game. Tapos parang medyo makakalimot ka ng konti. Diba? And I know that's what we're doing also for a lot of people, a lot of fans out there. So even if they tell me it's March, I'm in. Yeah.
Denise, I think a lot of people would be wondering, nakikita ka ngayon dahil mula nung semis tsaka ngayong finals, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday na lang. Nung una, araw-araw. What do you do the rest of the time? Take us through a regular day. Merong gym dyan, merong pool dyan. What do you do the rest of the time when we don't hear stories from you on TV?
Yung specifically when we were in eliminations, Maguna, everyday yung game, I'm not like Carlo. I'm not that disciplined. So I normally spend my days inside the room, really. Nagkukulong lang kami ni Selena kasi since everyday yung game mo, you have the day that you're off, supposedly your day off, would be the day that you call the teams. Diba? So again, it was quite an adjustment for us kasi nung time na nga na yon, like we weren't used to having to get our reports via phone. And again, you would have to work with the training schedule, the gym schedule, nap time, lunch time, breakfast, dinner. Ang dami eh, 'di ba? So touch-tempohan mo lahat 'yun, isa-schedule mo 'yun kung sino yung pwede mong tawagan, 'di ba? Kunyari ngayon, assigned ako kay Hinebra. Pwedeng yes, natapos yung practice nila ng 4:30, pero pwede mo lang tawagan ng 5. Let's say si Scotty, pwede mo tawagan si LA 7 pa, 'di ba? So medyo ganon. That consumed our days nung eliminations. Pero
so yung downtime mo every
is
other
work.
day kayo eh. Was still work. Kasi di ba
Was
nung
still
elims
work,
nga,
yeah.
salit-salit lang kayo na Selena. So yun nga, trabaho ka ngayon 2 games,
Yeah.
then day off, then 2 games, then day off. Pero sa'yo, trabaho pa rin yung day off.
Yeah, trabaho pa din yung off namin. And then we really felt like it eased up nung semis. Kasi especially kasi yung games sa hapon na ulit. Kasi di ba there was a time na may morning games tayo.
Quadruple pa, yeah.
Na hindi talaga kaming lahat morning person.
Oo, si Carlo, gumigising ng ganun kaaga para makarating sa gym ng 9 o'clock, no?
So yun, so minsan naabutan ako sa mga games, magang-maga yung mata ko, buti na lang may mask tayo, alam mo yun. Kasi magang-maga yung dito. So, yeah, pero buti na lang, come semis and finals, medyo nagkaroon na ng free time. So, nakapag-relax na ng konti. The first time, I was even around the pool and actually stayed there for like an hour, parang game 4 ng semis or something. And I've been here, by that time, I've been here for around 6 weeks.
Sandali. Ngayon bang, nung semis, 4 pa, o ngayon 2 team na lang, may schedule pa rin yung gamit nyo ng pool, gamit nyo ng gym? Because before, alam ko, kinikwento ni Carlo, pati kayo, hindi pwedeng gumamit ng gym anytime, ng pool anytime.
Yeah, you have to work with everybody's schedule. So kung ano lang yung ibibigay sa amin, of course, they're gonna prioritize the teams.
Yeah.
So a normal talaga na schedule namin, tama ba? It's 6 to 6:45, Carla, right? Before?
The morning,
Ng umaga.
In the morning, yeah. Kaya lalong walang pag-asa.
Kaya nga, wow. Ngayon,
ngayon,
gym nyo, Carlo, 9:00 ng gabi?
No. Ngayon kasi dahil 2 na lang yung teams. So, tig 2 oras yung nire-reserve for them. So, right now, other than those 4 hours of the day, open na siya. Pwede nang gumamit
okay.
kahit sino. So, malaking bagay din for us to be able to go to the pool and enjoy the other amenities dito. Pero si Denise, ang laki din nung natulong ni Denise doon sa pag-produce ng mga kwentong bubble namin, yung mga PBA Bubble story. Siyempre, nakita nyo yung nag-21 sila ni Coach Chard na dinaya naman talaga yata. Hindi ko
camera trick.
Oo parang yung biglang close-up dun sa ring, pumapasok na lang yung bola. Nakita ko na sa commercial yun.
Tsaka pansin nyo, meron 2 shoot doon, parehas na parehas.
Tama, ang dami mo naloko, lalong-lalo na si Yomer Santos. Denise knows free throw daw.
Syempre.
Napeke ka ni Denise, sir.
Graduate to ni Chard School of Free Throws.
Kaya lalong
hindi maniniwala tao. Yan eh.
Sorry may nagpapa-shoutout dito. Si Christian Abinion. Pa-shoutout Idol Magumar John at Carlo Pangilinan. Good evening.
Ikaw may-ari ng TV5?
Actually, Carlo V. Pangilinan. So,
Bossing!
Buti na lang, kaibigan natin si Bossing, Denise.
Magandang gabi po sa inyo. Denise, syempre, yung mga players, yung relationship with them, nandun na. I mean, established na because you get to talk to them a lot. But for us, to be able to be with Prod all the time, yung PBA family, nakikilala mo lalo. Parang din Parang it's something refreshing na alam mong paglabas nyo ng bubble, parang iba na yung pagka-close mo sa kanilang lahat.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 of us have had the pleasure of traveling for work, diba? And the usual kasi it's parang 2 weeks lang eh. Puro ganun lang naman yung mga assignment na matatagal. Well, aside from the both of you na meron ng mas matatagal. But for me, 2 weeks. So, I've built that relationship before. Pero yun nga, parang Carlo and I were talking about it. Mag-usabi namin, parang mamimiss natin yung isa't isa. May separation anxiety ata tayo pagbalik ng Maynila. Like, because we're so used to, like me, personally, I always text the Prod kapag mga 9-10 a.m. Kape, tara, kape, akyat tayo, kape. So, in 2 weeks, I'm not gonna have that anymore. And, you've gotten to know these people more and on a deeper level.
So pati si Ronnie, mamimiss mo. Yung natapilok na. Tuwa.
#Lakad Varsity.
Lakad Varsity talaga siya.
Birthday nung sa Prod namin. Si Arky. Happy birthday sa kanya. Tsaka birthday ni Selena. Birthday ni Selena 2 days ago. So, kailangan din natin siyang i-greet. May nagtatanong dito. Si John, Richard, Bakasmot, Maed, nandito pa ba daw si Kevin Alas dahil nandito pa si Selena? Wala na po. Matagal na pong nakauwi si Kevin Alas.
No isang araw nakita ko sa Instagram ba ni Selena. Dumating si Kevin Alas,
yes.
May nag-deliver ng mga gamit. Pero hindi sila pwede magkita.
Hindi pwede.
Andun sa labas. Nasa labas lang, bumaba ng sasakyan, nag-abot ng gamit dun sa taga-Quest yata or taga-Prod. Sa taga-Quest, dinisinfect yung gamit, ipinasok yung gamit, umalis na. Ganun pa rin po kaigpit. Ganun pa rin po kaigpit kahit yung mag-asawa po. Hindi pwedeng kahit beso-beso o yakap lang. Hindi po pwede dahil nakabubble nga po eh. Hindi obra sa protocol.
Parang ano lang yan. Parang yung umpisa nung Yaya Dub tsaka ni Alden. Hi-hi. Pa-hi-hi lang.
Pag ganun lang.
Ganun lang sa malayo. Ang ganda
Pwede
muna
niyo i-produce
tayo.
yun. I-produce niyo yun. Pero mag-asawa na sila, pero gagawin yung simula ng kwento. Labo, ano?
Ikaw, Denise, yung mga ayuda mo, kumusta naman? Yung galing kay Mosh?
Wala ubos na. Syempre, ang tagal na din nun eh. Ano pa yun? Eliminations pa yun eh. So, ubos na siya at currently, nangangapit bahay na lang po ako para sa mga chichirya.
Wala na yung tindahan nila, Bo. Sino na ang pinakamasarap chichirya dyan? Si Chard?
Si Carlo. Kahapon may hawak isang box yan ng chichirya eh.
Yun.
Oh.
Saka ano?
Akala ko ba dalawang oras sa isang araw ka lang kumain? May isang box ka pa chichirya?
Kailan mo ba kakainin? Pwede ka naman kumain ng marami dun sa 2 oras eh. Saka syempre, bagong deliver si Idol LA Tenorio ng Lace. Kaya, LA, good evening. Sana nanonood ka.
Samahan mo na ng soft drinks.
Padalan mo rin yung mga iba mong kaibigan, Lay. Pwede rin naman.
Papadeliver sa'yo. Denise, so far, the bubble experience has been, weird. In the sense na parang lahat tayo hindi sanay sa ganitong situation. But ako kasi parang I live here, so at least I feel parang nandito pa rin ako sa comfort zone yung Angeles. But how have you been able to connect with your family, with your fiancé, of course? Parang kumusta naman yung usap nyo?
Okay naman. You know what? Parang I was really thinking about it. I think first 2 weeks. And I couldn't imagine how people did it back then. Kasi ngayon, sobrang convenient nung social media or like the apps and all that. So you kind of feel like okay lang because you get to talk and you get to see their faces every day. So it wasn't really a big adjustment for me because again, like what I mentioned, when I played back in college, I didn't live naman at home eh. So, okay lang ako na. I keep to myself. Nag-apartment ako, mag-isa ako. Like, so I'm so used to just doing my own thing. So, it wasn't that huge of an adjustment for me. And, whenever, of course, I would have those days na parang mas gusto ko silang kausapin, I would just simply call my mom, I'd call my family. So, it's been good for me, thankfully.
Alam mo yung situation nyo? Pwede mo ihambing yan sa mga kapatid nating OFW eh. And they spend like 6 months, 1 year away. Na yun lang, FaceTime lang para makatipid. Isipin mo nga nung araw, long distance telephone call pa talaga. At least nga ngayon, may FaceTime, may Messenger.
Balita ko nga dati yung
phone card.
Cassette. Cassette ba yun? No, I heard stories about it before. Di ba?
Papadala mo yung cassette na.
Tapos papakinggan nila.
I heard stories about that before. So, nung iniisip ko pa din, because, syempre what I try to do, even before coming here to the bubble, like when I have those thoughts na parang pagod ka or you get irritated, you always try to counter it right away. Na parang pagod ka, pero may mas pagod pa sa'yo eh. 'Di ba? Yung iba nga, hanap ng ways to continue having a living. Pero ito, ikaw na yung nandyan eh. Sa dami-dami ng pwedeng nandyan sa loob ng bubble. Diba? You're there. So yeah, everything so far has been just a real blessing for me here.
Alam mo kung...
Go.
Alam mo kasi sino yung malas sa blessing? Eto, nagpapa-shoutout na.
Malas sa blessing.
Si Ronnie, Inner Cold River, nagpapa-shoutout. Bilo ko na ni Denise. Natapilo ka raw. Kinuwento na sa lahat ng katuuti natin.
So, yun po. Get well soon po kay Kuya Ronnie Rios. Magandang gabi. Sana po gumaling na kayo sa lalong madaling panahon at makalakad ng maayos, Kuya Ronnie.
Isasama mo ba bukas sa injury report mo yan, pre-game?
Ay, pwede natin pag-usapan yan. Diba? Sa ganda nung laban, nanonood lang siya, natapilok pa siya. Kaka-react niyang ganun. Natapilok siya sa sarili niyang kinakaupuan.
Aray ko.
Denise, hindi ko pa natatanong sa'yo to eh. Kasi syempre, hindi naman lahat ng players nakausap mo na, hindi naman lahat ng coaches nakausap mo na. But in terms of yung mga hindi mo pa normally nakakausap dati, na you got the opportunity here in the bubble, kanino ka medyo nagulat sa personality na parang, uy, kalog pala to, hindi ko in-expect, or okay pala siya kausap, yung mga ganun, parang sa mga hindi mo pa nakikilala talaga, who surprised you a little bit?
I think Jolas.
That's
So,
true.
at the start, because I mean, I used to see him na around talaga. Tapos, pero kasi, nung start, I distinctly remember it, I texted Jolas. Sabi ko, Coach, are you free to take a call? So, I think pababa na siya noon from his room, going to the bus. So, he's like, yes, parang now na, quickly. So, pressured tuloy ako kasi, syempre, paakyat na siya ng bus, di ba? Tapos, what I did was I had one question in mind and I knew he could elaborate naman his answer. So, I gave him my question and then tuloy-tuloy siya. Isang follow-up and then I was like, Coach, thank you. That was it. I appreciate your time. Pagtingin ko, 3 minutes. Sabi ko, anak ng tokwa, yun na lang yung ano ko ngayon. Yun na lang yung limit ko. Because I was like, basta nahiya na ako. To make the long story short, nahiya na ako tumawag sa kanya ng mabilis. And every single time I'd call him, after that 3-minute call, lahat ng call namin under 2 minutes. So lagi akong pressured pagkausap ko sa Coach, parang, hi, good morning. Tapos blah, 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 rat-rat na. Tapos, I think by the end of the eliminations, nagulat na lang ako because siguro nasanay na siya sa akin, natawag na lang ako ng tawag sa kanya. He started talking to me in person na parang meron na siyang extra kwento na I was like, oh, pwede palang hindi lang isang tanong. Okay lang pala.
Kasi si Coach Jolas, medyo intense yung dating eh. Pero pag nakakwento mo, napakabait nun. Napakabait ni Coach Jo.
So parang,
pero yun nga, medyo nakakaano yung pagiging-intense niya.
So sa kanya ako talaga nagulat. Kasi imagine for a whole month, lahat ng tawag ko less than 2 minutes. Magagalit si Coach Chad yan. Kakatawag ko na sa kanya ang tagal eh. Tinawagan ko sa kanina, mga 15 minutes kami magkausap eh. So, Coach, pagbigyan mo pa din ako ah.
Alam ko gumagabi na, no? Pero I actually wanted to ask both of you. Gas-gas na. In the last 2 months, sobrang gas-gas na yung walang fans in the stands. Kanya-kanya yung mga players, yung mga bench, kailangan buhayin yung 5 sa loob. Walang fans na makakatulong. Yung Ginebra, walang pinaghuhugutan. Ganito, ganon. We get it. Wala pong fans sa loob ng AUF Arena. Pero yung intensity, speaking of intense, because napagkwento natin si Joel, both of you are in there. You're in the same building. These are the finals. Siyempre, nag-build up yan eh. Elims, quarters, semis, finals na to. Sanay na sanay kayong pareho. Working within a crowd. Ngayon, ganito na. Huwag na natin pagkwentuhan yung kung ano na-feel ng player. Kayo mismo. Unahin natin si Denise. With nobody there, and just them, and alam mong, ikaw nga nahihiya ka kay Coach Jolas before the game pa magtanong dahil baka nakaka-istorbe. Lalo pa ngayon na nando sila sa trabaho, di ba?
Wait, sorry. What I feel when I'm watching?
Yung intensity doon, how do you find the intensity within the game?
Honestly, it's still the same for me. It might be hard to believe, but if you're following the game should give you the intensity. Not really the crowd. Of course, the crowd is always a huge factor. Pero honestly, minsan ako magunay hiya ako. Carlo sees this all the time. Kahit sino naglalaro dyan, bigla, siguro it's the athlete in me. I'd be like, tira mo! Pasa mo! No joke. And I would have huge gestures like, trash! Like, kahit sino, mukha talagang sira. Tapos minsan, may realize ko na lang because I have my headphones on, like, oh wow, walang crowd. So, they probably heard me from the other part of the bench. But it doesn't really matter because you're in it, diba? Yun naman yung importante. Kahit mag-isa kang nanonood o kahit 100,000 kayong nanonood, as long as you find it entertaining and intense sa'yo and it is a good match, then you're all good.
Those are the things we usually hear from the crowd at the Big Dome, at the mall. Tira mo, pasa mo, di ba?
I kid you not. Tapos meron ako yung mga talaga, mapapapihit ka na lang na gano'n kasi medyo mahihiya ka na. So, kokontrolin mo yung sigaw mo, pero hahawa ka na lang doon sa producer mo. Ganun na, yeah. Carlo sees this all the time. And Carlo would give me this look na parang, pinaggagawa mo dyan.
Ikaw, Carlo, yung intensity ng laban, kamusta?
Tinitingnan ko lang na ganun si Denise kasi nagtitimpi rin ako. Kasi ayaw mo talaga, you don't want to disrespect anyone by, reacting, overly, aggressive or enthusiastic for one play. Tulad nung dunk ni Ray Parks against Arvin Tolentino, that particular play. Kakaguess lang natin kay Arvin, di ba? Parang ganda ng kwentuhan natin. Parang taas ng respeto sa kanya. Tapos biglang sinalpakan siya ni Ray. Parang,
but I saw you.
Oo parang tumagilid ka na lang, di na lang ako titingin Parang, because it's natural for everyone to react to big plays. Yung initial reaction mo pa rin is an explosion. But then you remember where you are. You remember na parang, teka, walang ibang magre-react dito. So, you have to control it. It's difficult because we're so invested in the game. But still, parang you try your best to be as professional as possible and parang keep it very neutral as possible. Parang yun nga yung mahirap actually yung mga tres ni Scotty, the big shots throughout the tournament. Usually you can react to it because the crowd will react with you. 'Di ba? Parang whatever your reaction is, lulunurin lang ng crowd. Walang kwenta sa'yo. But now you have to temper it down na parang kailangan kumalma ka talaga because, you just have to respect everyone on the floor.
Pero Carlo, lahat ng storya dyan sa bubble, 99.9%, dapat ilalabas mo, di ba?
Yeah.
Bakit hanggang ngayon hindi pa lumalabas yung video na nadapa to?
Oh my God!
Sabi ni Denise, hinahanap mo rin yung video. Ba't hanggang ngayon di mo nilalabas? Sinadapa si Denise.
Pinapacheck ko sa CCTV ng AUF.
My goodness. Alam mo, all I can say, naggamit ko ng napakalala yung volleyball skills ko doon. So, sa mga hindi nakakaalam, sa likod ng Meralco, at paano ba? Sa likod ng ring, di ba meron tayong mga backdrop doon. So, may mga curtains doon. And I had to step on saan ba yun? Doon sa steps, behind the ring. Tapos may mga wires doon. Kakaiwas ko sa wire, sumabit ako doon sa kortina at nahulog ako. Flat on my face. Buti na sa likod siya ng ring at may mga tarpaulin. So nakaganon ako doon, nakaslide ako doon. Tapos tawa lang ako ng tawa and then I realized, mga 5 seconds ka na dyan, tumayo ka na. So I stood up, immediately looked at the Meralco bench. Nobody was looking, so I was like, I'm good. Good. Buti lang ako na-injure doon. No? Can you imagine? Ika-ika na akong babalik sa pwesto.
Tawa ka ng tawa kay Ronnie. Ikaw pala.
Pero papareview ako ng footage from start to finish sa AUF. Total
no joke na feel ko sobrang slow-mo nung hulog ko.
Sayang hindi pa nahuli ng super slow-mo cam natin.
Pero yung maganda doon, Magu, pagkatapos na dulas ni Denise, pinap naman ni Kuya Arlon yung paligid. para walang ibang madulas. Denise, ang dami nagtatanong dito, no? Favorite player, favorite teams. I mean, lagi naman nating sinasagot when you are in the PBA, when you get to know people, it's really impossible for you to cheer for anyone else.
Yun nga parang like what we were saying, it's sa dami nung storya, nung sakripisyo, everything they've left behind just to be part of this. How can you say na mas mabigat yung isa dun sa other? Diba? So you can't really have favorites here kasi alam mo pare-pareha silang napakaraming give up at pare-pareha silang nagtatrabaho. Like they've been working their asses off just to be on the right condition para mapahaba yung stay nila dito sa bubble.